So pandas data frame is the second basic entry in a pandas library. So which we will be like using throughout our data science journey for populating all our tables. So it is similar to a table in SQL where you will have rows and columns. So basically anything with a rows and columns is a two-dimensional data structure. So corresponding to similar to series, we had only one set of index. So it's here since we have rows and columns, rows as well as columns will be having an index. And each column, keep the thing here as I told when we saw the earlier example, each column can have a different type of value. So if you think similar to series, each column in a pandas data frame will be corresponding to a pandas series. So all the things in that can be as I told, same doubts that she asked, that a float, int, object, that type, all those things will be mattering across the column. So one column can be int type, next column can be float type, next column can be string type. So that is valid. But in a column, if I have float, int, string and all, so that finally that type will be the most comprehensive of all these. So that you always keep in mind. So now similar to series, we will see different ways in which we can create a data frame. So the constructor is similar to series, except that that series part we will remove and replace with the data frame. So that if I want is empty data frame. So what's the use of an empty data frame is I can now add on data to this. So if I don't know initially what is the type of data I am having, I can start with an empty data frame. And then I can go on adding data to it. So for that, I can use the default constructor without any arguments. So that will give me empty data frame. Now, suppose I am using NP arrays. Suppose I am having 3 arrays, NP arrays. One is having 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, 300, minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40. And I want this to be my values that I want to populate in the data frame. So one thing to note, there are only 3 entries in the first 2 arrays and there are 4 entries in the third NP array. So you just see how it will get created into a data frame. So how I am creating, so first simple data frame I will see. So suppose I create only for array 1. I use only for array 1. I don't pass any arguments. What will happen? I got a, so as we already saw, there is a column index. So column index in this case is 0. Our normal default indexing, and row index is 0, 1, 2. Right. So I hope this row and column thing you be clear. But now one more thing I will tell here. Now wherever in our subsequent discussions, I'll be using something called an axis. So whenever I am telling axis equal to 0 means that I am referring to a column, and axis equal to 1 means that row. Axis equal to 0 is a row, and axis equal to 1 means I am referring to a column. So always keep this in mind. So here if I say my axis equal to 0, that means my rows corresponding to row index 0, 1, 2, and axis equal to 1 means my column corresponding to column index 0. So now we will see what to do when I want to like merge, put my data correspond to these 3 arrays into a single data. Let's see what will happen since the data structures are different. So as you see here, I have passed column names here, A, B, C, D. So that A, B, C, D came. So and my first array 1, 10, 20, 30 was taken as my first row. My second array 100, 200, 300. Okay, I have given array 1, array 3, array 2. So that's why second thing is coming as minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40. And my array 3 will be 100, 200, 300, 400. So now, sorry, not 400 NA. So why NA came here is because my array 1 and array 2 are having size 3 and array 3 is having size 4. So because of the size mismatch, wherever there is, it is not finding a default data to fill, there it will print as a NA. So this is what I told earlier. If I have use this using size, this also will get printed. But if I print using count, whatever values in this column, it will return me only 1 because there is only one value other than NA in this particular column. With this thing, we will see 2-3 other types of ways in which I can fill a data frame. Now, you keep this in mind, the different ways in which I can make a pandas data frame, because why this will help you is when you're writing a code in big application and all, you will be mostly reading in from a CSV file directly into your data frame. But when you are writing some MCQ exams and all, you will be given some sample data frame similar to this, what we are seeing here, and you will be asked to do some operations and give the result. That will be the options for that corresponding question. So things like that you may need to, like if you want to write out in console and answer the MCQ question, you may need to like create this particular thing, right? So once you create this, only you can do whatever is asked in the question and check against the options. So for that, we will see 2-3 different ways in which I can create the data frame. And whenever some MCQ exams and all things like this come, you can make use of whichever ones that you feel you are more comfortable with. So now one thing is, like first thing that we saw, NumPy arrays. Second thing, we will see list of dictionaries. So as you can see, I have a list here. Inside the list, I am having one dictionary as my first element, my second dictionary as my second element. First dictionary is having keys A and B. Second dictionary is having keys A, B, and C. And there are values corresponding to each of us. Now we will try to pass this into a data frame and see how the data frame actually looks. So now you try to interpret. Once you try to interpret between this and this, you can make whatever data frames you want similar to this. So if you see, there are keys AB here, ABC here. So and this 1020 came here, AB corresponding to my first dictionary. And the C is not there, so A and NA, not a number came there. For my second dictionary, ABC keys, values 5, 10, 20, 5, 10, 20 came as my second row. So this is one way in which I can create a data frame from my given a list of dictionaries. Now coming to second part, what if I have ulta? I have a dictionary of lists. So my keys, I have 2-3 keys. So both these you can use, either of these you can use to create a data frame. So same example I will just see in this other way. So suppose same example I am doing. I will just, instead of list of dictionaries, I will make a dictionary of lists. So my first key I will put as n, and in that I will fill value. You just compare with whatever we got earlier. I will put values 10 and 5. Corresponding to key B, I will put values 20 and 10. And corresponding to values 3, I need to put a name here. So just I will just see. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, invalids in there. Okay. Okay. So you see. So basically there are, using the same dictionary of list as well as list of dictionary, you got the same data frame. So you just see the difference between how I fill the values used as a dictionary or as a list in the two cases. So once you can make out either any one of these, you need not learn both of these. If you learn any one of these, that same way, whatever question you get, you can fill it into like a similar structure like this. You can directly call a data frame list dictionary and use that to operate further. So that way, like even if you have 3 or 5 rows and columns and all, you can manually do it. If you have a big thing, when we go for some applications, you will directly read from CSV file. But from exam point of view, this two things, list of dictionaries or dictionary of list, you should like make it learn it how to do that. You can be sure that you will get one question from this at least. So one similar other example using dictionary of lists. So that will be same as what we saw here. I am having states. In that I have filled Assam, Delhi, Kerala. Then geographical area. Then wildlife distribution, density of forests. So that way, some example that I got from NCERT textbook. That same thing. So both these will be like same way you are doing. Now suppose I want to change the order of the columns here. Then when I am passing the dictionary itself, I can pass an argument as columns, which will tell me that I want the state to be followed by VDF and geographical area. That way I can actually assign the change the order of the columns in the resulting data frame. So there are other ways in which I can do this once I make the data frame also. But this thing is like the most straightforward. When I make the data frame itself, I can tell it what order the thing has to be. Then we will see the next method to make a data frame, which will be based on series that we learned just now. So series, I have defined 3 series here. Each is having 5 entries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first one, 1000, 2000, something, second one, 10, 20, minus 10 and all, third one. And the index I have passed as A, B, C, D, E for the first and second one. And third one I have passed as Z, Y, A, C. You just see what happens. And we will try to explain that. So once we explain that, I think that part will be clear. Now suppose I make a series with data frame with series A and series B. Both are having same index A, B, C, D, E. So that way I got as my columns A, B, C, D, E. My rows 0 and 1 corresponding to series A and series B. In the first row, axis is equal to 0. Row 0, I am having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correspond to series A. And in the second row, I am having values correspond to series B, 1000, 2000, that. Now suppose I am trying to make a data frame with the series A and series C. So as you can see here, the index are different. Here it is A, B, C, D, E. Here it is Z, Y, A, C. So what happens is, finally I will get columns corresponding to all of these A, B, C, D, E, Z, Y. And finally my values which I am having will be corresponding values whichever are existing. It will be filled from the corresponding series like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or this minus 10, minus 50. And wherever values are not there, the data frame constructor will automatically pass a not a number value to that field. So this is how I will get if I pass as inputs series which are differing in the length or differing in index and all. Now suppose we will see just one more bigger example, which we'll be using in the subsequent examples also. So this, if you can think about it, this can help you in 1 or 2 graded questions also, because those are also done in the same way. Okay, so suppose here I have defined a series having, I have defined a dictionary. So then the dictionary, the names, keys are the names of students, Arnab, Ramit, Samruddhi, Riya, something. And the values are the marks they got for math, science and Hindi. So that way I have defined 3 marks corresponding to each student. So if I make a data frame, so I'll get as my columns the value of the people, the students who are there, and as part of the rows I will get the subjects. Now what I want is, suppose I want it ulta. I want the subjects as columns and I want the students as my rows. Then I can directly, there is a dot T which will actually transpose. T stands for transpose. So that will directly transpose my columns and rows. So even if you try to make a data frame and you got the columns and rows ulta, like to suppose to what you wanted, you can directly, instead of like tampering it here and all, you can directly use the transpose function to like change it to whatever way you want. So that is one thing. Then we will see some 2, 3 examples of like info. So info is another method similar to that. So that will tell you the number of not null elements in your data frame. So suppose if you see this data frame, all elements are populated. So there are no entries marked with NA. So in this case, it returned me there are 3 non-null elements, all are of type in64. Now let's go to our earlier data frame where we had NN. So in this case, D frame 8. So D frame 8, if I try to print using info, what I will get is, I will get the corresponding to each column A, B, C, D, E, Z, Y. It will tell me that there are 2 non-null elements here, 1 non-null elements here. So corresponding to that, wherever NaN is there, I will get one count less here. And the data type of all columns are of type float 64. So because whenever NaN is there, that column will be by default casted as float 64, provided there are no strings in that. If strings are there, that will be treated as an object. Okay, I hope that part is clear. So now next part is, so this much is from our like exam point of view, or when you are trying to experiment and all. So this is the next thing, is the thing that you will be actually doing when you are going to a production system, or actually when you are need to implement a machine learning algorithm or something. This read CSV is how you will try to make your data frame. So read CSV, basically you have to pass it the location or the name of the CSV file, comma separated value files. So that will actually tell you what are the values corresponding to whatever data you are looking at in a particular. You can just go through CSV and all in Google. So it will tell you the format and all. So you will have values which will be mostly in quotes if it is string, without quotes if it is not a string, and those will be separated by commas. And each row will be like one entry like that. So you will have as many entries as there are rows in the data. So you can directly read it using read CSV, and using the head function that we saw earlier for series, I can print it. So actually I have used, if you see left side, Google Colab notebook I am using. In that already there is a sample data folder which is having some 3-4 CSV files. So I have not uploaded anything. I have just used that. If you want to upload something, you can make use of this upload to session storage. If you are using Google Colab, you can upload to session storage here and access that. Or if you are using Jupyter Notebook, you can directly put the file in the directory where you are having the notebook, or you can access it with the path using a relative addressing or absolute addressing. So I will not go into that details at all here. So basically, if you can see here in the CSV file, in the first row, there are entries like longitude, latitude and all. So without specifying anything here, the read CSV function automatically assumed that the first row is the header row, and it took my column indexes names it took from that, and the row indexes I got as default values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's try to print out with the df.info. Now as you see here, it will tell me like 3000 nominal values are there for corresponding to each of the 8 columns, 9 columns. What are the numbers? So all values are populated here. So there is another function called describe, which will tell me for all the numerical values in the numerical columns. Here all are numerical, float 64 type. So it will give me like the statistics, like descriptive statistics, count, mean, standard deviation, then the quartiles, minimum 25%. These things we will go into more detail when we go to our applied probability and statistics, descriptive statistics with Python. That time I will go into more details how to get each of these, like using proper code. Now we will just assume that we know these things. So 25%, 50%, 75% maximum, all these are quartiles. So all these will get printed corresponding to each of the numeric columns. And if you have non-numeric columns, you can use this either include equal to all or include equal to object something. So that will give you here, in addition to this, categorical values also you can get. Now suppose I have some other file. This is also again from the sample directory. So if I read that, as you can see here, the first entry, first row in that was automatically taken as a header row. But if you see from the data, that doesn't actually seem like a header row, because that is just like the row second. It is not actually a named row, and it is having values point 1, point 2 and all. So it doesn't seem that this is actually a header row. So for cases like this where there is no header row, you have to like tell the read CSV function that okay, there is no header row in this particular table. So row 0 onwards is my data. So once you do that, you will get the correct things. So this header is equal to thing none or default header thing you will have to take care when you are reading a CSV file. So other than that, once you do this, whatever data frames that we created normally earlier using hard coding values, and the whatever things we did using read CSV function, both will be 1-to-1. There will be no difference between the way we will be doing things with that. And this read CSV you can go through in more detail. There are some few arguments more for that. you can just go through that. I will not cover those here since those will take too much time. So I just want to cover the basics. So that way I will skip that. So now we will see similar to what we did for series. We will try to do some operations using these data frames. So the data frame, I will just copy this results df because we will be doing that results df. Okay. So I will be using this results df only. So you will just print that there. I'll be using this particular data frame that we created for showing all the examples on how I can operate based on columns, rows, using our label based indexing, integer location indexing, all those things. I will explain based on this thing and how to add rows to this, how to add columns to this, things like that. Because those are the things that we will most probably want when we are going with some particular data. Now, suppose I have one more student called Preeti and I have marks corresponding to Preeti. So basically what I want to do here is I want to add one more column. So what I can do is I can directly give it, give the column name. Like this is similar to our how we fill values in dictionary and all. Like the same way only we fill the values in dictionary, right? Like dictionary name, we put the inside the value of the key followed by equal to value. So same way for corresponding to column, we have to give values. Now suppose I will just try with two values only here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it will tell me that I have passed only two values, but there are actually three values are expected. So compared to whatever during initialization, if I had done something like this, it would automatically get filled with the NaN. But in this case, as you can see, I have to pass that many values as there are rows in the data frame. So once I run this, marks correspond to Preeti are also added. Now suppose I want to add marks for one more person. Same. Yeah, this is already Ramit is there in the data frame with marks 92, 81, 96. Suppose I want to update his marks to 99, 98, and 78. I can call this so that, as you can see, the Ramit person marks are getting updated. So this way you can change the already existing columns in a data frame. So if you see the difference between these two, this was like creation of a new column, whereas this was updation of an existing column. Now, suppose you want the same value across all the rows in a particular column, you can pass a single value here. You need not have a list here. So if you pass Arnab equal to 90, then that will update. Arnab had earlier marks 90, 91, 97. All his marks will get updated to 90. So suppose you want the same value throughout for all the rows corresponding to a particular column, you can make use of this. Now suppose I want to add one row. So adding a row is I need to add a new labeled row here corresponding to subject English. And I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marks I need to add correspond to 6%. So this is how I can add a new row to my data frame. So as you can see, one English got added. Now same thing I will try to update. So if I want to update the marks again for an existing row, if I pass the new values, that will get updated. The English 85, 86 thing got updated to 95, 86 thing. So I am not going to details into label based indexing here, as I hope that is you are clear from the series part. We are using the same scope here for loc and iloc. So iloc I will be coming shortly. So now suppose similar to what we did for Arnab making all his marks 90. If I want to make the marks for max, I am giving everyone 0 marks. So I didn't like the approach of the students in the class. So I am decided to fail everyone. So that way I can make all the values in a particular row to a single value. Here I need not pass a list and all. So if this is mostly useful when you want to initialize all the rows or all the columns of a particular thing to a value that you want. So initialization part and all this can come handy. Now suppose now I want to here if you see I told earlier that everywhere I should use loc and iloc. But here, as you can see here, I did not use that. I directly went for calling it using. Here, one more thing I will tell. There is one more way in which you can access this. Like instead of this, you should not like use this when you write code. But when you get MCQ questions and all, this can also come. So this particular thing results instead like key like addressing for dictionary, and this thing are basically suppose I will change marks here 89. So these are actually one and the same. Does not match index. Okay, now there are 4 subjects, right? So 76 English also we added. So now if you see, the marks corresponding to RAMIT are updated to 1998. So this accessing a column like this and accessing a column like this, both these will work the same way. And in literature as well as in exams, MCQs and all, you will find it either this way or this way. Now the one thing to note is that if the index was string only, this will work. If the index was like a number 0, 1, 2, 3, or index was a float and all, this first thing only will work. The second thing like result df dot 0, dot 1, dot 1.0, those kind of things will not work. Only if it is string only, both these are applicable. So that is one thing. And the second thing is like lock. Okay, so as I told when we went through series, I told that always you should try to access using a lock and ilock. So I skipped lock and ilock here, these parts, to make this part clear to you. Now I will tell how this is already when you write a code, how you should actually implement it using lock. So as you can see, you have the table here. So column corresponding to Mallika, you want to make some values. So ideally what you should do is, instead of calling result df of Mallika equal to 0, you should ideally, when you write code, you should call it with a label based indexing. For all the rows corresponding to column Mallika, I am changing the marks to 0. She didn't write any exam, so I am giving her 0 marks. Now suppose again Arnab and Mallika came to me, they told like, okay, give them some marks. So then I decided to give them 10 marks. So this, as you see here, comparing this and this, similar to what we saw for series. For a single column, I can call it directly, but when I need to change the value, update the value in multiple columns, I will have to put that inside a list. So label based indexing for all rows corresponding to columns with the labels Arnab and Mallika. I hope I am making myself clear, right? Those will be get updated with values 10 in this case. So this much for label based indexing. Now we will go to integer location based indexing. So now ilook of 2 of equal to 0. Suppose I give, you see what happens. So ilook, I have not passed anything here. So the default index will be a row. So 0th row, first row, second row. So second row, all the marks became 0. So this is irrespective of max, science, English, Hindi. I can directly access the data frame based on a particular integer. So ilook and look, you always try to make it clear in your mind. Even I got it that question wrong in our grader thing. After that only I learned it. Okay, so I hope you guys will get it correct in the first try itself. Okay, so then coming to this second part, suppose you want to access a column. Then similar to that, if you see 0, 1, 2, second column. So all the rows corresponding to second column, I made it 0. So same way you can actually use slicing and all. You can similar to label thing only. You can use similar to series that we saw. Only thing that difference between start and end index. If you use a label based indexing, end index also will get printed. If you make use of an integer indexing, that end index will not get printed. That thing alone you keep in mind. So other than that, it is same as what we saw for series. So now suppose I decide that, okay, my science exams somebody copied. So I want to make the marks of that invalid. So I want to conduct a new exam. So I want to clear my data corresponding to science exam. So what I will use is, I will make use of what is called a drop method. And in that I will pass access equal to 0. So this you might be remembering, as I told earlier, whenever I am telling access equal to 0, I am mentioning rows. And when I am telling access equal to 1, I am talking about columns. There are some confusions that may come in that when we go to aggregation. That time I will clear. And I hope this confusion came in our last session on NumPy also. So there also that will get cleared when we go to aggregation part. So whenever axis equal to 0, you think that it means rows. Whenever axis equal to 1, that means columns. So that thing you keep in mind. Okay, so if I want to drop the science column, if you can see that column got dropped. Now suppose my 2-3 people didn't get the minimum attendance criteria, Samruddhi, Ramit and Riya. So I want to remove their marks from my table. Then same way I will use drop with the indexes Samruddhi, Ramit and Riya and axis equal to 1. Since I want to drop columns. So that will give me the remaining 3 people, Arnab, Mallika and Preeti only. So I have this part is clear. So now slicing I already covered in series, so I will not go into detail here. Okay, these things are not there in the. Okay, it's I copy pasted those.
We have dropped them.
I hope you are getting why we got this error, right? I am trying to print something that I already dropped. So I will not try to correct that because that part is clear, right? Okay. So now similarly, I will not go into detail. That is same as what we did for series.